Hey, hello! Hey, I'm over here. Yeah, so I was messing around with the PIM particle in preparation for my AntMan review and yada yada yada. I'm half an inch tall. But on the bright side, I can now lift 50 times my own body weight. This is Movie Night. Hello and welcome to Movie Night. I'm your host, Jonathan Paula. For the 7th time here on the show, we'll be reviewing superhero movies. Click the information icon in the corner now if you'd like to visit a full playlist of the previous 30 plus pictures I've already reviewed in this ever-growing genre. But for now, we'll begin with the appropriately titled superhero movie. Produced by David Zucker, one half of the brilliant individuals behind parody classics like Airplane and The Naked Gun, this Craig Mazin comedy doubled its $35 million budget when it was released in March of 2008. Paralleling the plot of Sam Raimi's groundbreaking Spider-Man from 2002, Drake Bell stars as a high school student who develops superpowers after being bitten by a radioactive bug. Bell is unfit to carry a film, especially this one, and mostly just stares blankly or mugs between jokes. Thankfully, he's surrounded by some serious talent, who honestly don't deserve to even be here. In one of his final film roles, comedy legend Leslie Nielsen is featured as the Uncle Ben analog, and brings so much class to the art of spoofs, it's hard not to appreciate his appearance. Christopher McDonald is inspired casting as the villain, who gets annoyed when his evil scheming is interrupted by Clippy, the Microsoft paperclip mascot, who asks, "It looks like you're planning a mass murder, would you like help?" It's a cheap joke, but it got a good laugh from me. Not nearly as awful as those misogynistic crapfests from filmmakers Aaron Setzer and Jason Friedberg, superhero movie sticks to established parody formulas with a good dose of slapstick and sight gags, which works to its benefit, as trying to cram in too many references and cutaways would just be a terrible idea. Indeed, those familiar with the biggest superhero hits of the 2000s will enjoy this picture's attention to detail, which rather faithfully recreates a number of iconic scenes with humorous twists.
Uncle Albert! Just try to breathe.
I can't. You're kneeling on my balls.
Oh, sorry.
Rick, listen. With great power comes...
Great responsibility?
I was going to stick with bitches, but if you want to be a virgin for the rest of your life...
Uncle Albert!
My balls!
A flashback that mimics a pivotal scene in Batman Begins works pretty well, thanks to a short but effective role from Robert Hayes. Not including the lengthy bloopers and credits that pad the film to feature length, this movie is only an hour and 8 minutes long, so as tame and unfunny as certain sections may be, it at least won't take up much of your time. The majority of the jokes are tired, juvenile, and frequently overstay their welcome. I caught this PG-13 rated flick on basic cable and was decently amused leaving it on in the background, but I doubt it'd hold up under closer scrutiny or repeat viewings. Superhero Movie is a trite spoof with occasional laughs. Now let's read some of your YouTube reviews. Our ratings for Superhero Movie, a 2 and a 3. Although no one had anything overly positive to say about this picture, you still thought it was bad. I went in with low expectations and wasn't bothered much, so I'll score it a lame. For tonight's poll question, what is the worst superhero movie you've ever seen? Leave your response as a comment below. Second tonight, AntMan. After a tumultuous production that began as early as the late 80s, this action comedy film from director Peyton Reed was released in July of 2015, earning a surprising $500 million at the box office. Although the film's original director, Edgar Wright, left the project due to creative differences, he's still listed as one of 4 screenwriters for the PG-13 rated film. The 117-minute story sees cat burglar Paul Rudd given the opportunity to don a super shrinking suit to help save the world. Mostly known for lighter comedic roles, the affable 46-year-old was an inspired casting choice. He nails the dialogue with his charismatic attitude while still maintaining believability as an action hero. Michael Douglas is fantastic as the older mentor and original Ant-Man. His veteran experience really anchors the movie from becoming too silly or ridiculous. Evangeline Lilly is a spunky daughter, Michael Pena is a hilarious sidekick, and Corey Stoll is the menacing villain. Pena is especially memorable, bringing solid laughs to every scene he's in, while Stoll might be my favorite comic book bad guy since Tom Hiddleston's Loki. When hearing of dire circumstances ahead, Rudd humorously suggests, I think our first move should be calling the Avengers. Now that Marvel Cinematic Universe is a dozen movies deep, the cross-references allow for some really fun moments, including an excellent scene later in the film when Anthony Mackie makes a minor appearance as his Avengers character. As expected, Ant-Man makes great use of its $130 million budget, with tight editing and polished visuals. Seeing the world from ant scale is pulled off with a faux tilt-shift perspective with really inventive and great-looking results. For a prologue set in 1989, de-aging VFX are used to make Douglas look 26 years younger, and the results are absolutely astonishing. With no hint of the uncanny valley, his appearance here is so believable, you'd be forgiven for assuming this scene was filmed during the production of Wall Street. Although it's just a quick opening scene, I'm excited to see how writers take advantage of this technology in the future, as the possibilities for new prequels and sequels are no longer bound by the physical appearance of their cast. The score from Christoph Beck has a low-key heist vibe to it, which makes it a perfect fit for the film's small-scale climax. Unlike most MCU entries, this one kept the story reasonably contained to only a half dozen players and a couple key locations. This isn't some globe-trotting world-saving mission, but a small job with big consequences. It's a nice change of pace for the prolific franchise. One of the funniest comic book pictures yet, and certainly one of the more unique heroes, Ant-Man is a fabulously fun and amusing adventure for all ages. Now let's see what you had to say. Many praise the visual effects and humor, scoring this an 8. I completely agree. It didn't break any new ground, but it really delivered an entertaining time. I'll score it an 8 as well. If you follow me on Letterbox, you may have already seen my review for our next film. But if you don't, now's the best time to sign up. Letterbox is an awesome IMDb social networking hybrid that lets you log your viewing history, make lists of your favorite films, or just discuss theories with fellow fans. And for 2 lucky people who answer tonight's poll question, I'll be gifting an entire year subscription to their pro service absolutely free of charge. Finally, my thoughts on Fantastic Four. Released nationwide on August 7th, 2015, this superhero action film was a reboot of the Marvel Comics franchise of the same name, and the 3rd theatrical release in that series overall. Despite basically stealing a profit of nearly $50 million from overseas markets, this picture vastly underperformed domestically and is the lowest grossing film shown in more than 4,000 theaters, earning less than half of any other movie on that list. A commercial and critical disappointment, an ill-advised sequel is still foolishly in production for 2017. The all-too-brief 100-minute feature follows a group of teenage scientists who unlock a portal to another dimension where they accidentally gain superpowers. The cast of characters, who all have alliteration-heavy names, are led by Miles Teller as an ambitious nerd who gains stretching flexibility, Michael B. Jordan as a thrill-seeker who can summon the power of fire, Kate Mara is a soft-spoken friend who becomes the Invisible Woman, and Jamie Bell is re-rendered into giant rocks as The Thing. Toby Kebbell, Reggie Cathy, and The Simpsons' Dan Castellaneta also play pivotal roles. This usually talented group are downright terrible from a performance standpoint, unable to deliver the clunky dialogue with any sincerity. The piss-poor writing also prevents any believable relationships between these characters, who interact with one another like frosty acquaintances at a high school reunion, instead of world-saving allies.
My bad, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm alright. Where's Dad?
Bell complains to Teller post-transformation, "I'm not your friend. You turned me into something else." This is a decently powerful line that sadly never sees a payoff. And if that's not bad enough, we're meant to root for them to succeed when it's their selfish, reprehensible impatience that leads to their accident in the first place. In what is the most baffling and terrible decision in the long history of superhero films, Fan Forstick completely omits the middle of its story. The movie literally has only 2 acts. The most crucial aspect of an origin story is exploring the characters' beginnings and how they became the famous comic book heroes we all know and love. But here, far too much time is spent on how they build their quantum gate device, leaving no room in the cramped story for the explanation or exploration of their new powers. 1 minute, the titular group are caught in a trans-dimensional explosion, and 2 scenes later, the narrative is jumped forward an entire year to when everyone has already mastered their abilities and acquired fancy costumes. If you want the recipe for an engaging and interesting origin story, look no further than Sam Raimi's original Spider-Man. An awesome picture with clearly defined characters and a well-structured progression of the hero's transformation. If you're looking for a step-by-step guide on how to make shit stew, then watch this crap. So what went wrong? Director Josh Trank's previous effort, 2012's Chronicle, was a wonderful execution of very similar ideas. Hot-headed adolescents coming to terms with their new powers, and the result was a surprisingly excellent production. Trank and his team are so far off the mark with this picture, I wonder if they were abducted by rival DC Comics and forced to create fan four-stick against their will. Indeed, 20th Century Fox's requests and unsupervised changes created widespread dissatisfaction, with Trank complaining on the eve of the film's premiere, "A year ago I had a fantastic version of this, and it would have received great reviews. You'll probably never see it." That's reality though. Not very favorable. And I haven't even gotten to the technical side of things. The editing is a rushed hatchet job, with large sequences clearly left on the cutting room floor. Trank's original cut was reportedly 40 minutes longer, which explains a great deal of the aforementioned story and pacing issues. The music from Marco Beltrami is reasonably suited for the darker theme, but is entirely forgettable. The visuals are a lazy, unfinished mess, cobbled together by no less than 5 separate effects companies, resulting in a cartoony, CGI fakeness to the picture's most important moments. Marvel fans may want to watch this, if only to fill out their scorecard, but all others should stay far away. The PG-13 rated disaster offers few redeeming qualities outside of its fascinating premise. This is an unimaginative, cheap-looking picture with awful performances and lazy execution. Fan four-stick is an unfortunate cinematic abortion. Now that I'm done bashing on it, let's give you a turn. Despite some neat ideas and a couple fleeting moments of entertainment, everyone agreed this picture was a massive disappointment and a very bad film. Unfortunately, that does it for tonight's episode, and if you click the information icon in the corner, some related videos will slide out for you to watch. Once again, my name is Jonathan Paula. Thank you for watching and listening. Until next time, have a good movie night.